Our series begins in the continent of Doro, a strange continent known for the presence of magical powers. We go to the hero of our series, whose name is San, and we see him sleeping on his bed, having a terrifying nightmare, one he has had many times before, always repeating with the same exact details. In the dream, he finds himself alone in a vast place filled with many colorful plants. He hears a soft feminine voice calling out to him, constantly telling him that the secrets buried inside him will be revealed by himself, but he must be strong in order to change what will happen to him. He sees himself suffering and facing strange creatures. He even sees himself in the body of a giant spider. But then, when he turns over in bed and falls off, he wakes up. His reaction to the nightmare shows that he's used to it, because he doesn't sit still for even 2 seconds before getting up immediately to get on with his life. He chops wood, fires up the furnace, cooks food, and takes the meal to his father. His father is drunk, so San lays him down on the bed and heads out to do their job. Their work is blacksmithing. He is an extremely skilled blacksmith because his father taught him how to hammer iron since he was very young. After finishing work, San goes to a quiet place in a forest near their house. There, he's able to leave his body through meditation and moves his spirit swiftly through different places. Suddenly, his eyes light up. This is the first magical ability San learned from a book of powers he got from his father. This eye ability allows him to see the world in slow motion. San's second ability is that he can control a few iron nails that he makes at his father's workshop. On his way back home, he hears a strange sound and moves closer to hear it better. But suddenly a giant spider appears and starts chasing him. Of course, San runs quickly, terrified and thinking about what to do. Despite his agility and swiftness, the spider is faster and stronger than him, so San is forced to fight the spider and uses his powers. He manages to strike the spider in the eye and blind it, but that doesn't help much, as the spider lunges at San and is about to kill him. But it doesn't get the chance, because a man grabs the spider and throws it far away. The man is so strong that the spider runs off in fear. This man's appearance resembles that of a wolf, but when San sees him and shows fear, the man returns to his normal form and introduces himself to San. We learn that he is Su, a magical fighter from the Soul Palace, an elite and royal clan. This clan includes the most powerful fighters on the continent. San quickly gets up to leave, afraid of Su, but Su tells him that managing to blind a massive spider like that is a miracle because it's a legendary beast from the wild. He grabs San's hand to check his combat spirit, which is the source of a magical fighter's powers. But he's shocked to find that San has no combat spirit. San tells him he doesn't have one and doesn't even know what it is. Su tells him it must not have awakened yet. So leaves San, who is still afraid, and San returns home with a book that Su gave him. He tells his father everything that happened and had already read the book on the way back. He learns about something called the combat spirit and its details. He also finds out that most of the continent's inhabitants have magical abilities, but his father ignores him and goes back to work. San follows him, trying to tell him about the fight with the spider. He asks his father how he managed to blind it. San says he used the ability of his eye, located a specific point, and struck it with the iron nails, managing to blind it. San's father asks if Su noticed that his eyes changed color, or discovered any magical abilities. San tells him no. His father instructs him to hide his powers and not reveal them to anyone, especially Su. A little while later, the village chief comes to visit San. We learn that the chief is a close friend of San's father, and considers San like a grandson. The chief is happy, and tells San that a magical fighter from the Soul Palace has come and seems to be recruiting fighters from their village. The main condition is that they must have a combat spirit. San tells him that he doesn't have one, but the chief says he might still have it. It just hasn't been released yet. He asks San to come to him at night so he can help him release his spirit, but San's father says that his son won't go anywhere. That night, San's father takes the Book of Powers from him and burns it. He tells San that as long as there is a fighter from the Soul Palace around, it's not acceptable for them to discover he has magical powers. The next day San wakes up from the usual nightmare to find his father in front of him, asking him to go fill a bottle with water. San tells his father about the nightmare, saying he hears a feminine voice that he feels is his mother's. He wants to know any information about his mother, who passed away. but his father tells him he's not ready to know who his mother is right now, and that everything he wants to know will be revealed later. On that same day, Su holds a test to reveal the combat spirits of all the village youth using a magical talisman, but San watches from afar, as his father had forbidden him from learning anything about it. After Su finishes the test with all the village youths, San gets ready to leave, but Su stops him and asks why he didn't join the test like the others. Maybe the talisman could awaken his combat spirit. San is afraid, but Su's words spark his curiosity, so he steps up and stands on the talisman. Su and the village chief watch closely to discover his combat spirit. When San stretches out his hands, a silver-colored plant sprouts from one of them. Both Su and the chief are shocked, however they don't notice that there's another combat spirit in San's other hand, and San himself hides it because, by nature, everyone is only supposed to have one combat spirit. San walks up to them and asks what his spirit is. Su tells him it's the silver grass spirit, a rare but useless spirit with no offensive or defensive abilities. However, he can still strengthen it by joining the Spirit Palace Academy, and Su says he can recommend him there. San thanks him and says he needs to go back home and talk to his father. When San returns, his father is angry with him for disobeying his orders and going to the test, but at the same time, he's curious about his son and asks him to show his magical spirit. San reveals the silver grass spirit, and his father isn't surprised. It's as if he knew from the beginning that this would be his son's spirit. When San tells him he wants to go to the academy, his father is upset, but admits he always knew this day would come. He agrees to let San go, but with one condition, that San only studies there and avoids drawing any attention, so no one from the Spirit Palace will bother him. Most importantly, his father insists that once his education is complete, San must return and never take a job with the Spirit Palace. San agrees to this condition, but he can't keep quiet and tells his father about the other spirit that appeared in his other hand. His father asks him to stretch out his hands and focus to reveal that spirit. San does so, and a hammer materializes from his hand. His father is shocked and tells him that this is the Tian Hammer spirit, one of the most powerful combat spirits. That makes San unique, as he has a dual spirit, but his father emphasizes strictly that he must never reveal this particular spirit to anyone and must keep it hidden. The awaited day arrives and San leaves home with the chief, who escorts him to the academy. When they arrive, they find a man sitting at the academy's gate. He stops them and asks San to show his combat spirit. San does so, and then asks the man if he's the academy director, because he feels the man has a strong presence. But before the man can respond, a young man interrupts from behind and tells San and the chief that not just anyone can enter the academy, especially people like them who clearly look poor and from the common folk. The chief tries to calm things down and tells the young man that he has a recommendation letter. It's a letter from Su that exempts San from fees and ensures he's treated well by the administration. But the young man hands the letter back, accusing them of forging it. He clearly wants to stir trouble and even insults the chief before trying to drive him away. San is about to attack him, but another person arrives and scolds the young man, apologizing to San and the chief. He says his friend is just a bit hot-headed. He introduces himself. His name is Xiao, and he's the son of the city's prince. Despite that, he's very humble and shakes hands with San, telling him he'll help him with all the enrollment procedures. He asks the chief to go rest and leave San with him. San says goodbye to the chief, who leaves, and then Xiao leads San inside to see his room, since he's now officially his classmate at the academy. Afterward, the man from the gate follows Xiao and San and tells San to call him teacher, because he's one of the academy's instructors, though his position is somewhat low. He tells San he knows things about his combat spirit that could be very useful and says he can teach him. It's clear the teacher is interested in San and wants to help him. As the teacher walks San through the academy, they pass by some cages full of rabbits surrounded by students. The teacher explains that this is one of the academy's traditions, to harden students' hearts by having them kill innocent creatures. Of course, this idea doesn't sit well with San at all. At that moment, a beautiful girl is entering through the academy gate, but Liu blocks her way and tries to stop her from going in. Xiao steps in again and tells Liu to treat people more respectfully and tries to speak kindly to the girl, but she ignores them both, jumps over them effortlessly and walks in as if nothing happened. They soon hear that a new student is freeing the rabbits from their cages. Everyone rushes over, including the girl. The one freeing the rabbits is San. Liu tries to stop him, but Xiao follows as well and tries to convince San to stop what he's doing, telling him he's disrupting the academy's order, but he tells him that what they're doing is evil because they're killing innocent creatures for no reason. But Xiao doesn't like being challenged, and he tries to intimidate San with his authority. San, however, isn't shaken at all, and a fight almost breaks out between them, until the teacher shows up and calls out to San to stop any trouble from happening. San follows the teacher and heads to his dorm, where he meets a young man who says he's the dorm leader and that San needs to listen to him. His name is Wang, but San isn't interested in any of that. Suddenly the beautiful girl walks in and says she'll be living with them in the same dorm. Her name is Xiao, and it's obvious she likes San because he's kind and defended the rabbits. She even says she'll sleep on the bed next to his. Wang gets upset, thinking she's mocking him because she had completely ignored him earlier, but then Xiao stands up and tells Wang that she's willing to fight him, and the winner will be the dorm leader and in control of everything. Wang still thinks she's joking, but with one move she flips him to the ground, and everyone realizes she's clearly stronger than all of them, so they respect her. However, she's really focused on San and wants him to fight her like he did with Wang, because she wants to know his capabilities. She keeps insisting until he agrees and fights her, but she defeats him too. After the match, another girl shows up, grabs Xiao's hand, and reminds her this isn't the girls' dorm, then drags her away to where she's supposed to be. That night, while San is asleep, the bed next to his moves closer, and we see that it's Xiao doing it. She ends up falling asleep in San's arms. He wakes up feeling very nervous, but convinces himself it must be a dream, and goes back to sleep. The next morning, when he wakes up, he finds all the guys in the dorm standing there in shock, because Xiao is still sleeping beside him. That's when he realizes it wasn't a dream. Xiao then makes a strange request. She wants San to brush her hair. He actually does it, and she's so warm and friendly with him that it encourages him to open up and tell her his life story and how he ended up at the academy. Later, when Xiao walks away, she runs into Xiao, the prince's son, who tries to invite her to dinner, but San shows up and tells Xiao to back off, sensing that he's trying to pressure her into it. When Xiao tries to slap San, Xiao, the girl, hits him and sends him flying. Xiao realizes then that San is going to be a problem for him. He tries to threaten him again, saying that with his authority, he could have him expelled, but San doesn't care. He takes Xiao, the girl, and they leave. In the academic lessons at the academy, each student reveals their combat spirit. All the students have powerful, offensive spirits. Even Xiao's spirit is a wild rabbit. San is the only one with a very weak spirit. He goes to the teacher and asks him to teach him anything he can about the silvergrass spirit. The teacher gives him a few instructions and some advice. San manages to extend the grass from his hand, and even make it grow really long, but he loses control of it, like it's the one controlling him. The teacher tells him that's normal, but he needs to adapt to it and think of it as a part of his body. San goes to Xiao and shows her what he can do. She's amazed by how quickly he's improved. One day Wang comes to San and Xiao and tells them that Xiao, the prince's son, has received a royal recommendation, and is now very connected. When he sets his sights on someone to hurt, he always follows through, but San says he'll handle someone like Xiao. San goes to where Xiao usually stays and finds it heavily guarded. He senses something suspicious, so he uses his combat spirit to climb the building and spy on Xiao. He sees that Xiao has summoned a legendary beast, a wolf that's 100 years old. Xiao takes a spirit ring and inserts it into his body. San runs to the teacher and tells him what he saw. The teacher explains that this is a method of improving a combat spirit through hunting, but Xiao is cheating by having someone else capture the beast for him so he can just land the final blow. The teacher suggests that San do the same to strengthen his own combat spirit. San hesitates. He doesn't like the idea of killing, but the teacher convinces him that there are certain beasts that need to be killed anyway. The next day, the teacher takes San to the forest of legendary beasts for a hunt. The teacher brings along a cart filled with radishes, and San has no idea what they're for. Meanwhile, Xiao is looking for San to hurt him but can't find him in his room. He asks all the students but no one knows where San is. Then he goes to Wang, and we find out that Xiao's father is torturing Wang's father. Xiao uses that to threaten Wang, but just then someone comes to Xiao and tells him that San is in the forest of legendary beasts. Back in the forest, the teacher and San are preparing. The teacher summons his combat spirit, which turns out to be a legendary dog with tracking and combat skills. the teacher captures the first legendary beast, which is a wolf, and the spirit ring does emerge. But when San tries to take it, he can't. The teacher tells him only the person who kills the beast is allowed to absorb its spirit ring and level up their spirit, and if it's not absorbed in time, it disappears. As they're sitting, they hear a strange sound coming from the radish crates on the cart. San checks it out and finds that Xiao, the girl, had been hiding there all along. She was worried about San, and this was the only way she could come along. San tells her that she's putting her life in danger, and he doesn't like that, but she tells him what's done is done. While they're standing there, the pack of the wolf the teacher had just killed surrounds them. They realize they're about to be attacked. They all start running, but in the chaos, Xiao pulls San away from the teacher and tells him she doesn't trust that man. They have to escape from there, but on their way out they spot an injured legendary cat. They watch it from a distance, wanting to help and heal its spirit, but suddenly, Xiao shows up behind them with his soldiers, and his intentions are clearly evil. Xiao is angry with San, furious that Xiao, the girl, is always with him, and that San always challenges him. Just then, the teacher's dog runs between them, followed by a massive legendary snake that attacks Xiao and his soldiers. San grabs Xiao, the girl, and runs. It turns out the teacher summoned the snake to help them escape. He tells them not to run from him again and tells San this is his chance to kill the snake and advance his spirit. But the snake attacks the teacher and poisons him with its venom. Xiao, the girl, rushes to his side to take care of him, and San launches himself at the snake. Using the techniques his father taught him, he manages to kill the snake. The spirit ring appears and San absorbs it into his body, but it's too strong for him. He can barely stand. Zhao, the guy, returns with more soldiers, intending to take advantage of the situation and capture San. But the teacher summons his dog and uses a skill that releases a gas, giving San and Xiao, the girl, a chance to escape. Xiao, the guy, hits the teacher, trying to see what he'll do. San sits down nearby, meditating and focusing to fully absorb the spirit ring. He succeeds, and when he stands up, he finds a golden ring around him. It's a first-level spirit ring, granting him new abilities. Xiao, the girl, suggests he try them on her, so he uses the silver grass on her and finds that now it can slightly paralyze. It's gotten stronger. Meanwhile, Xiao, the guy, has the teacher tied up and is trying to find a way to torture him to lure San in. San asks Xiao, the girl, to go back to the academy. On her way back, she visits the wolf pack they'd escaped from earlier and tells them she needs their help. Suddenly, all the wolves start gathering around her and begin transforming into spirit rings entering her body. After a while, San reaches the place where Xiao, the guy, is, knowing the teacher is inside and needs rescuing. But suddenly, Xiao, the girl, appears behind him and tells him she hunted a legendary beast on her way back and now has a spirit ring just like him. She wants to help with the rescue mission. They combine their powers and break into the place. They finally reach the teacher, but he's unconscious. When he wakes up, he tells them they need to run. It's a trap. Xiao, the girl, shoves San away, and suddenly a cage falls on her and the teacher. She tries to hold it up, but it electrifies her. Xiao, the guy, walks in and says his plan almost worked. What he really wanted was to trap San in that cage. We learn that Wang was forced to spy on San under Xiao's threats. San becomes furious and is determined to free Xiao, the girl, no matter what. He uses his abilities, enduring shocks, but eventually manages to break them out of the cage. He collapses, exhausted and unable to use his spirit anymore. The teacher uses his own combat spirit again, unleashing the smoke technique, and takes San and Xiao, the girl, away so they can escape. Then he goes back and strikes Xiao, the guy, then leaves so they can all flee the city, because what just happened won't go unnoticed. Back with Xiao, the guy, Wang is standing before him. Suddenly Wang says it's time to settle the score and strikes Xiao violently. All of Xiao's soldiers are unconscious. When Xiao comes to, he finds someone in front of him named Feng, an important member of Xiao's family. Feng tells him Xiao is dead because of Wang's attack. Wang is shocked. He can't believe it, but the last thing Xiao remembers is San, so he declares San must have been behind it. At the same time, San returns home to get his father so they can escape, but he doesn't find him. The house is destroyed and looks abandoned. San tries using his spirit, but it doesn't work. His combat spirit is broken. Then San's father appears and San tells him everything. His father explains that news of Xiao's death has spread, and San is the main suspect. Everyone is looking for him. San wants to defend himself, but he knows Xiao's family won't let this go. He sees the only option is to surrender. Xiao, the girl, insists on going with him. They've been in everything together, but before surrendering, San thinks the mayor might help him. Meanwhile, the teacher stays behind with San's father, waiting for the authorities to arrive. He keeps staring at San's father's face, feeling like he's seen him before. Suddenly, San's father summons a hammer from his hand. It's the Tian hammer, the combat spirit his son inherited from him. The teacher recognizes San's father. He has a huge story behind him and has been hiding from his past, trying to conceal his true identity. Then he strikes the ground with the hammer. He tells the teacher that beneath this place there's a 600-year-old plant. He explains that as soon as it comes into contact with any water, it grows rapidly. San has to kill it to absorb its spirit ring, which would surely restore his combat spirit. San's father tells the teacher that San is now his responsibility, then leaves. The teacher is left with no choice but to help San, though he doesn't understand why he's doing it. San goes to the mayor, trying to explain himself and defend his case, but Fang bursts in with soldiers and orders the arrest of San, Xiao, the girl, and even the mayor. They then head to the house to arrest the teacher, but the teacher runs to the plant under the house and pours water on it. Suddenly the ground shakes, and the plant grows, engulfing the entire house. Everyone stands in shock at the sight. Fang tries to cut the plant, but it attacks all the soldiers. The teacher tells San to kill the plant immediately to restore his combat spirit, but for that chance to happen, they must get rid of Fang, who is trying to destroy the plant, so San and Xiao team up and kill Fang. Xiao uses a move to hurl Fang toward the plant, which wraps around him and kills him. San then enters and kills the plant. Its spirit ring emerges, and San absorbs it, but it's far beyond his level. He starts hallucinating and losing control. Xiao uses one of her abilities to help San absorb the spirit ring. It brings him back to his senses. Now he has 2 golden rings, and his combat spirit is not only restored but stronger than ever. San's father, wearing a mask, attacks a convoy carrying the prince and kills him. Suddenly, people from the city are celebrating. He asks someone why, and they tell him the prince is dead, meaning all charges against San have been dropped. The blame has fallen on the prince's killer, who is actually San's father. San's father returns to the teacher and asks him to hide his identity from San and tell him nothing because he plans to leave again. But San shows up, having overheard them. The teacher walks into the house, leaving them alone. San doesn't want his father to go, but his father tells him that this is the fate he didn't want to face, but now must. He must go through what's coming alone so he can grow stronger. He leaves quickly, clearly unwillingly. San goes to the teacher and asks to know his father's identity, but the teacher says his father requested that everything about his past be kept hidden. If San wants to know, now is not the right time. San replies that he doesn't need to hear it from him. He'll meet his father again and learn everything directly. Due to everything that happened, San can no longer return to his old academy. The teacher tells them that from today, he considers them his students and that he'll take them to an academy he knows. But for now, they need to rest. Xiao sits with San and finds him very upset by everything. His mother is dead, his father is gone, and he has no family left. She tries to comfort him and tells him she can be his sister. He agrees, and from that day on, they consider each other siblings. The next day, the teacher takes Xiao and San to the academy and tells them he'll wait for them outside. But suddenly they see Su arriving with a girl. They stand next to the teacher, and he overhears their conversation and realizes they are from the Spirit Palace, and they're looking for someone inside the academy. The girl enters with a lot of money, pays the academy fee and goes in. San doesn't have money for his or Xiao's admission, and they're about to leave. Just then, an academy staff member named Si runs up to them and says he can put in a good word with the headmaster. He does, and the headmaster accepts them for the little money they have. Then a girl named Chu shows up. She introduces herself and says she wants to challenge Di and kill him. Di is a young, handsome staff member at the academy, and he's used to being chased by admirers like this. But the headmaster refuses the fight to avoid damage he'd be responsible for. Si manages to convince Chu to enroll in the academy so she can stay close to Dai and wait for the right chance to kill him. She agrees, and Si takes San and Xiao to the room they'll stay in until the exam day, where it will be determined if they're accepted into the academy. That night, a man arrives at the academy and challenges anyone brave enough to fight him. He storms into C's room and throws him out, demanding someone stand up for him and fight. He looks like a criminal. San tries to paralyze him using his silver grass, but the man has 2 golden rings and 2 purple ones, a level far above San. The man completely ignores San, grabs Sai, and prepares to kill him. San, Xiao, and Chu jump in to help, but the man is far stronger than all of them and defeats them easily. Still, he doesn't kill them right away. He goes back to Sai, kills him, throws him aside, and yells to the entire academy that they have one last chance to run before he kills them all. Everyone flees except San, Xiao, and Chu. They want to avenge C. Even though they fight back, the man is too powerful. He strikes Xiao so hard she can't continue the fight. San becomes furious and tries to defeat the man, summoning his hammer and attacking with all his strength. But the man defeats San and knocks him unconscious. When San wakes up, he finds the man standing before him, along with Xiao and Chu, laughing. He tells them they've passed the academy's entrance test. It was all a performance, a test of courage. C is alive and well. Then Dai arrives and they learn the man is actually Teacher Xiao, one of the academy's legends. But because the academy is struggling financially, there aren't many teachers anymore. Every year he comes to conduct the entrance exam to find worthy students. Xiao and Chu praise San for his bravery and say he clearly has a bright future. The next day they find out that the place they were in wasn't the real academy, it was just a guest house. The real academy is in a poor village, due to their financial troubles. The headmaster asks the girl who came with Su to meet him in his office. When she goes, she finds Su unconscious. We learn the headmaster is very powerful, though he doesn't seem like it. He tells her that Su was spying on them. The girl reveals her name is Na and that she comes from a powerful family in the Spirit Palace. All she wanted was to study in the academy in complete silence, even if it meant just being an auditor. She left a large sum of money for the headmaster and told him she'd support him financially too. The headmaster woke up Su and she asked him to leave. Then we see C standing with Xiao and San, and we learn that he is the adopted son of the academy's headmaster. He's very passionate about theater and always loves to write what he observes, without basing it on any magical abilities. San goes to meet the teacher, accompanied by Xiao, and C joins them. The teacher is initially worried about them but relaxes when he finds out they've been accepted. C greets the teacher, and the teacher tells San that he heard there's a girl from the Spirit Palace in the academy. He's referring to Na. To ease his mind, the teacher decides to stay with San and train him personally. He takes him back to the academy and calls for the headmaster so he can introduce the teacher to him. When the headmaster sees the teacher, he's shocked and rushes toward him. It turns out they know each other well, and the headmaster says he's been looking for him for a while. He hugs the teacher, and we find out that they are brothers. The teacher tells the headmaster that San is his disciple. The headmaster takes the teacher to his office so they can talk freely. The teacher offers to work at the academy as a teacher for free because he wants to stay close to San, and the headmaster agrees. He then gathers the students and introduces the teacher, telling them that he will be in charge of their training. Their first mission is a case in a nearby town that the students have to investigate on their own. They go there and find a burned-down house, but strangely, everything around it is untouched. It's obvious that some magical force was behind the fire. They go to the mayor of the town to find out what happened at the time of the incident, but he seems nervous and doesn't want to give them anything helpful. They learn from him that the family who lived in the house all died in the fire except for one boy named Jian. They need to find this boy. Na goes to the burned house and finds Jian sitting beside it, scared, with a black ghost next to him. When he sees her, he runs away, and as he runs, the ghost disappears. San and Xiao happen to come to the same place Na is at, and she tells them what she saw. Meanwhile, Dai is talking to Chu and asks her why she hates him and wants to kill him. She asks if he truly doesn't remember her, and he says he doesn't even know her. Just then, Jian shows up running away, but when he sees them, he starts running again. They chase after him, but he escapes. We find out that Jian is hiding with the mayor, who doesn't want him to say anything. We also learn that the black ghost is actually Jian's father. Dee goes back to Chu because he really wants to know why she hates him. She tells him she can't believe he forgot their engagement. Dee is shocked, and so are San and Xiao, who are eavesdropping. He explains that he rejected the marriage because he didn't know her, and that it was all forced on him, so there's a misunderstanding between them. Chu's temper gets in the way of fully understanding the situation, but she walks away. Then Na tells San and Xiao about a place they can go to with a portal that leads to another world, where they need to investigate something. She goes to Di and asks him to come with her because she discovered something strange. Na and Di go to the portal, open it, and enter. Suddenly they find themselves in another world where the sun rises in reverse compared to theirs. At the same time, San and Xiao enter another portal and end up in the same world. They find Dai unconscious and learn that the black ghost appeared and fought with them, managing to defeat Dai. They take Dai back to their world, and when he wakes up, C enters and tells Dai he'll use his battle spirit to heal him. This shocks everyone because no one knew C had a battle spirit. C asks San to leave the room and not let anyone enter until he finishes. San steps out, and Chu joins him. They stand together until they hear C screaming inside. Then he comes out as if nothing happened, totally fine, and doesn't reveal what his battle spirit looks like. Dai promises not to tell anyone. By chance, Chu finds Jian and brings him to the others so they can figure out what's wrong, but Jian is unwilling or too afraid to speak. When San promises to try to bring back his father, Jian opens up and says he truly doesn't know what happened to his father. He just transformed suddenly and lost control. They all go to the world of the black ghost and attack it, hoping to reduce its threat. However, its powers are way beyond all of them. During the battle, Jian gets kidnapped, and it turns out the mayor is behind it all. He also takes Na hostage. The mayor takes Jian to his house and asks him to come inside. Jian enters, and just as the mayor is about to follow, Na appears and knocks the mayor unconscious. Then Xiao arrives. She tells her that she'll stay by her side and see what she's going to do. At that moment, San realizes that Jian's father just wants to save his son and doesn't want to hurt anyone, so he lets him go to his son to see what will happen. Everyone gathers in front of Jian's house, and inside the house, there's a bird. The mayor is extremely happy because the bird is a phoenix, which is the concentrated power of Jian's father. He orchestrated everything so Jian would inherit it from his father and be used for the mayor's personal gain. Jian merges with the phoenix and takes its power. When he comes out of the house, the mayor starts manipulating him, telling him that everyone present wants to kill him and his father. Jian loses control of his power and attacks them all, but the power is too much for him to handle and he passes out. The alternate world they were in is destroyed, and they all return to the real world. While Jian is unconscious, he sees his father saying goodbye for the last time, and before fading away, his father tells him that he will give him all his memories so he can know the full truth. When Jian wakes up, he's furious at the mayor and tells him that he knows everything that happened, and that it was all his doing because his father passed all his memories to him. He wants to kill the mayor. The headmaster arrives to defuse the situation, but it's all beyond anyone's control. San goes to Jian to calm him down, holds his arm even though Jian is burning with power, and keeps telling him that they will consider him their brother and fix everything that went wrong in his life. Eventually, Jian calms down, but just as things seem to be under control, C suddenly shows up, throws water on them, and thinks he saved the day. When they capture the mayor, he confesses that he was behind everything, but he was following the orders of someone higher than him named Poli. Poli was the one who gave Jian's father the drug and caused everything that happened to him. There's a large organization studying the transformation of battle spirits into monstrous forms, and the clue that will lead them to this organization is Poli. Now wants to take the drug and have the spirit palace study it, but Jian refuses. He won't allow anyone else to suffer like his father did. Jian leaves with San and the others and agrees to become one of them and train to control his powers. When they return to the academy's headquarters, a girl enters looking for Sai. When he sees her, he's stunned, especially since she's asking for the academy's address. He grabs her bag and says he'll help her and personally escort her. Jian is standing nearby and suddenly loses control of his power again, setting the place on fire. Dai steps in and strikes him to calm him down, and they realize Jian must be monitored. The new girl's name is Bao. She's the daughter of the king of the Third Sect, a major royal family on the continent. She brings a letter from her father requesting that she join the academy. The headmaster initially refuses because they're already over capacity, but Bao tells him that all of the academy's debts will be erased if he allows her in, so he agrees immediately. Bao, however, is a bit arrogant and prideful. One day, Di is heading out late and runs into San, who asks where he's going. Di tells him he's going to a nearby city. Xiao also comes and asks the same question, and he tells her to lower her voice. Then Jian comes and asks Dai where he's headed. Di explains that there's a tournament in the nearby city where he can earn a lot of money by fighting other contestants. They ask to come along, thinking they can earn money too and train to become stronger. C goes to Bao to get to know her better, and we learn that her battle spirit is a large tower that can enhance the speed or strength of anyone in front of her. They go to the tournament where Dai is competing. There are many contestants and Jian tries his luck but, as usual, loses control and injures many people. This keeps happening repeatedly. Someone at the tournament runs to a man working at a tavern and tells him that the phoenix is at the tournament. That tavern worker turns out to be Poli. He's thrilled that his plan has succeeded. The next day, Dai starts personally training Jian. Every time Jian loses control, Di beats him until he becomes afraid of losing control. Eventually, after a few tries, Jian begins to get the hang of it. He returns to the tournament and this time maintains complete control. One day, Jian is sparring with Di for fun, and San and Xiao are cheering them on. Polly is standing at a distance, pointing at Xiao and saying he wants that girl in his tavern as soon as possible. On their way back to the academy, San and Xiao are ambushed by bandits who tell San to back off and leave Xiao to them, but that doesn't happen. One of Polly's assistants runs back to the tavern in fear and tells Polly that the girl beat him. Everyone in the tavern gets up to attack San and Xiao, but the two of them take down the entire tavern. San ties Polly up using a special herb and tries to squeeze the truth out of him. Who was behind what happened to Jian's father? Polly says there's someone higher than him who gives the orders. If they want to know who it is, they need to open a specific drawer he points to. Xiao goes to open it, but it's a trap. Green gas sprays into her face, and she has a month to live unless they find a cure. San puts more pressure on Polly to get the antidote, but Polly tells him he doesn't have it. If he wants it, he'll have to go to the one who gives Polly his orders. And in order to meet him, he must take the letter that's in the same drawer and go to a country called Du in 3 days. He will meet him there. San returns and tells the headmaster and the teacher everything that happened. He tells them that he'll do anything to save Xiao, and they actually leave for that country after 2 days. But the place is filled with criminals and murderers who try multiple times to harm Xiao and San. However, the teacher is with them, and he possesses a technique that makes it appear to everyone that he has 7 spiritual rings, something that terrifies anyone who even thinks about hurting them. They go to a hotel and spend the night there so they can finish what they came for the next day. Indeed, the next day, San goes with Xiao to meet the man, but they get ambushed by a group of bandits who want to rob them. When they tell the bandits that they really are poor, the bandits say they'll just kill them instead. But then a man with his face covered appears and advises the bandits to leave before he kills them. This angers the bandit leader, who tries to attack him, but with a flick of his hand, the masked man releases a green gas that instantly kills anyone in front of him. He tells them that he's the one who has the antidote. He looks at Xiao's hand and sees that it's deteriorating, then tells San that he'll only give him the antidote under one condition. San must work for him and complete a task. He gives him a bottle containing poison. Meanwhile, the teacher goes to receive the rest of the students. On their way back to the hotel, they find San and Xiao standing there, so they join them and return together. San tells the headmaster and the teacher everything. He explains that there's a girl named Dogo, and he has to break the bottle in front of her to poison and kill her. When San asks the masked man for a reason, he doesn't answer. All he says is that she'll be wearing a crown shaped like a chair and will be in the city's forest the next day, hunting. San is very hesitant, because he has to poison someone to save Xiao, and he doesn't know what to do. The next day they all go to the forest to hunt. There the headmaster asks C to reveal his battle spirit. C feels shy and doesn't like showing it, but he's forced to do it. He releases his battle spirit, and suddenly C is dressed like a chef. His power is a food container that produces sausages. Whoever eats them gets healed from any injury. C thinks it's a useless power. Meanwhile, Su is in the same forest on a mission, but a ghost with a green glow suddenly appears behind him and kills him in seconds, then walks away calmly. Back with the rest, all the academy students are hunting with C so he can strengthen his abilities. They manage to hunt a large serpent. Suddenly, an old lady appears, very powerful, and says that the serpent belongs to her and she wants it. But the headmaster refuses and tells C to kill the serpent quickly and absorb the spirit ring. The old lady gets angry and strikes the headmaster, but he hits her back. They all hear a strange sound, and the old woman leaves. C's power levels up, and now he can summon a kiwi fruit that allows whoever eats it to fly. Jian tries it and actually flies. They continue their journey normally, but then a huge giant appears, stronger than all the beasts in the forest. He defeats them all and heads toward Xiao, but San saves her. San tries to attack the giant, but takes a blow that knocks him out. The giant picks Xiao up gently and runs away with her. When San regains consciousness, his friends tell him that Xiao was kidnapped by the giant. He wants to get her back, so he asks C for help. C gives him a kiwi and San flies alone through the sky. But when he descends, the poison bottle falls from him and breaks. The poison enters his hand, but he doesn't care because he sees the same spider that tried to kill him before. San summons his hammer and kills the spider, releasing a spirit ring from it. The ring is purple. Just as San is about to absorb the ring, the teacher stops him and tells him that it's too powerful. Absorbing it could kill him, especially since it came from a strong beast like the spider. But San is desperate to get stronger to save Zhao. He reaches out to absorb the ring anyway, but a sudden attack comes from in front of him. It's from an old man standing beside the old woman who wanted the serpent. With them is a girl wearing a crown. It's Dogo. They're her protectors, and they're helping her enhance her power. The old man warns San again not to absorb the ring, but San ignores him and absorbs it anyway. He falls unconscious. Dogo runs to San and grabs his hands, but the poison from San transfers into her. The old woman notices and the old man grabs Dogo's hand and asks her if she feels anything. Dogo says she's fine. Suddenly San starts spewing spider webs from his body until he forms a cocoon. They have no idea what's going to happen to him. We cut to Xiao and find out that the giant never wanted to hurt her. They actually know each other. Xiao hugs him, checks on his health, and tells him he's gotten taller since the last time she saw him. She asks to absorb his energy, and he allows her. She gains a purple ring and leaves him to return to her friends. The giant follows her, and she tells him he can follow her, but only until she reaches her friends, and that he must not hurt anyone. Back to San. His cocoon bursts open, and he emerges, but now he has spider legs on his back, and his eyes are completely black, and he isn't aware of anything happening around him. San walks away from them, but his friends grab him by the leg trying to stop him. However, San keeps calling out Xiao's name, and they realize he has to go find Xiao to regain consciousness, so they let him go. San indeed reaches the giant, and Xiao is standing in front of him, but he knocks her down. San wants to kill the giant, but Xiao stops him and prevents the giant from harming San. She tries to use her ability to help San return to his normal state by absorbing the dark energy from him. She actually manages to do that, but San keeps stabbing her with his spider legs until they both collapse unconscious. When the giant sees that Xiao's friends are coming to save her, he leaves. When San wakes up and sees Xiao in that condition, he assumes the giant did it. He doesn't remember anything, but his friends explain that he was the one who hurt her, and they tell him everything. San takes Xiao to a room to take care of her and tries to heal her. Then the teacher comes to San and tells him that the old woman said green gas had transferred from his hand to Dogo's. San then remembers what happened, and realizes he accidentally poisoned Dogo. He explains everything to the teacher, and goes to get the antidote from the masked man. But before giving him the antidote, the man starts praising San and tells him he wants him to join his organization, saying he has been watching him for a while, and that San has immense potential. But San tells him he's not interested. He goes back to Xiao and gives her the antidote, but she doesn't wake up. The teacher tells him that Xiao probably lost consciousness due to poisoning from another type of venom, San's own venom. San is surprised and asks what venom. The teacher explains that when he absorbed the spider's spirit ring, he also inherited its traits and abilities, the most important being the paralyzing venom. He must have poisoned her when he stabbed her while she was trying to bring him back. San then tries to heal her using his herb, drawing the venom out. He actually manages to heal her, and she starts getting better. One day, Nali comes to him and tells him she's interested in him, but she's only trying to seduce him with her words, so he looks into her eyes, which triggers her hypnotic powers. The moment he looks into her eyes, he falls under her influence, but someone comes from behind and tells her to back off from his brother. We find out that it's Dai's older brother. He wants to kill her, but she manipulates Dai and makes him attack his brother. However, Dai's brother is very strong, and just as he's about to strike Na, San steps in and ties Dai's brother to a tree using his herb, but the brother quickly frees himself and snaps Dai out of the hypnosis. He then signals for help with a light in the sky, and the headmaster arrives quickly and suspends Dai's brother in midair, restraining him. Dai's brother then says he will face his brother and all his friends in 5 days. If he wins, Dai will never return to the academy, and he will kill all of Dai's friends. But if Dai wins, he'll allow him to return to the academy. Then he leaves. The teacher and headmaster summon Nali and confront her about what happened. They tell her she tried to control Dai, but she denies it and claims she loves him. She keeps acting pitiful until they start to doubt whether she's really guilty. But Dai is sure Na did something to him. With the fight coming in 5 days, the teacher decides to put them through intense training. That's exactly what happens. Each one of them is trained in a specific and very tough way. Even the headmaster helps the teacher train the students. A new assistant arrives and tells Na that Su has been replaced because Su died. Na is shocked and can't believe it or understand how it happened, but she quickly asks the assistant for one thing: to go fight Dai's brother and hurt him as much as possible. The assistant actually goes and does that. His ability is fire-based. Then Dai and his friends head to the place where the battle will take place. Dai's brother is late, and they start to doubt whether he'll show up, but then he arrives, clearly just having come from a tough battle. He changes clothes and his body shows painful burn marks, but he insists on fighting his brother. The fight begins, and Dai's brother is very powerful. Despite his injuries, he's able to withstand Dai and all his friends at once. But San has a plan. He tells his friends the plan, which involves suspending Dai's brother in the air, then tying him up and throwing a trap at him. They all leave the arena, and in this way, they manage to defeat him. But he doesn't give up and tells his brother that he won this time, but they'll meet again in the Chang Spirit Battle. They ask him what that means, and he tells them it's a major tournament that includes all the academies on the continent. Then he leaves. They return to the academy to rest. The next day, the teacher asks San and Dai to meet someone important, a young man named Yue. He is an envoy from a major royal academy, and was present during the battle with Dai's brother. He was very impressed by their abilities and invites them to participate in the tournament that Dai's brother mentioned, but under his academy's banner. Also with Yue is Dogo, who tells San that she is part of Yue's academy and that he's the team leader. She tries to convince San to join too, but San refuses. However, Dai hesitates and doesn't say anything. Yue tells them they have 1 day to think it over. The next day, San and Dai go. They go to Yue and Dogo to give them their final answer. But as soon as they all gather, Dogo loses consciousness. San looks at her neck and realizes she's been poisoned. They take her to a room and have Sai use his ability to bring out the herb that should cure her and remove the poison from her body. She does wake up, but not even 10 seconds pass before she loses consciousness again. Yue says he will take her back to the kingdom, where they will definitely be able to treat her. The headmaster and the teacher gather the students and tell them they can participate in the Chang Spirit Combat Tournament. They get very excited. On the way to the tournament, they find corpses tied up in the desert, people who died from thirst. They say at least they should bury them, and they do. But one of them is still alive. They give him water and try to save him, but he dies in their hands. They don't know who the criminals are that did this. Because the journey to the tournament is long, they have to rest in a town along the way. They book a hotel, and San shares a room with Dai, but someone enters the room and says his name is Nu, a loyal soldier of the prince of that town, and he's just there to welcome them. Then Xiao comes in and wants San to walk with her through the market. The soldier leaves and San goes with Xiao to the place she wants. As they walk, they hear someone crying. They get closer to the sound and find a woman sitting and crying. When they ask her why she's crying, someone speaks from behind San and says the woman lost her mind after her husband died. He was tied up in the desert by the evil warriors. He tells them that group is made up of dangerous criminals who challenge other warriors. Because they're so strong, no one has been able to defeat them, and they always kill their opponents in the most brutal ways. As they're standing there, someone approaches. They think he's a criminal, but surprisingly, it turns out to be Wang, their old friend from the previous academy. They walk together, since they haven't seen each other in a long time. Wang tells them he was the one who killed Xiao and apologizes to San for causing him so many problems, but San closes the subject. Then Xiao says she wants to buy sweets from a nearby cart. Wang goes and grabs what he wants. He reaches his hand out to Xiao, but she tells him he hasn't paid. Wang says he doesn't pay for things in this city. San realizes Wang is one of the evil warriors. He asks Xiao to return to the hotel because it's getting late. When San sits with Wang, Wang tells him that after fleeing the academy, he came to this city, trained under criminals, became one of the strongest warriors here, and joined the evil warriors. He's gained a lot of status, and even his commander has been watching San for a while and is impressed by his abilities. He wants San to join them. Of course, this doesn't sit well with San. Wang tells him that refusing means challenging the entire group to a battle. San stays silent because he doesn't know what to do, but when his friends hear what happened, they don't leave him alone. They tell him they're with him, even if they all die. Principles matter more than anything. San makes custom handheld bows for himself and his friends, which fire metal arrows. The next day they bravely go to the battleground. The evil warriors are waiting for them. The commander tries one last time to convince San to join, or else he'll die. San doesn't reply. He and his team release their spirit powers and launch their first attack on the evil warriors. But the evil warriors unleash their abilities too, which are much stronger than San's team. San and his friends have almost no chance. They're about to be defeated and killed, but San tells them, "This is the time," and they all bring out the bows he made. They fire at the evil warriors, hitting all of them except their commander, but they had prepared a defense move for him too. San throws magic bombs at him. This way, they manage to defeat the evil warriors. The townspeople are overjoyed. We find out that the man behind the evil warriors, the one supporting them, is the same masked man who was behind Bully. Since the evil warriors lost, the masked man takes them into the desert. He's fascinated by San's abilities, and all he wants is to make San work for him. San and his team continue their journey and reach the city where the tournament will be held. They head to the royal palace in charge of registering participants. This palace is also the headquarters of Yue's academy. They enter the palace and sit down to eat. The person welcoming them is Yue, who takes them to the rooms where they will stay until the tournament begins. But before anything, Yue takes the teacher, headmaster, San Dai, and Chu to greet the academy's administrative head and register for the tournament. The prince of the city is there as well, and he appears to be evil. He doesn't agree with San's team joining. But then the king's son, named Shu, walks in. He is the prince's nephew, and tells him that the tournament rules state that any academy can participate. Then someone gives them green smoke, which chooses the location. This person is named Guo, a fighter from the royal family. Without warning, he grabs C and lifts him into the air, asking for his name. The headmaster tells him to let C go. He's about to attack him, but with a single move from Guo, the whole team is knocked to the ground, because he has 9 spirit rings, and at their level, he is invincible. He stands in front of San and tells him that there's a score to settle between them, but the crown prince steps in and says they are guests in the royal palace, and what's happening is unacceptable. Guo tells San that he'll let him go this time, but he won't escape him again. The king's son apologizes to them, saying it must be a misunderstanding, and as an apology, he sends Yue with them to arrange a temporary location where they can establish their academy and prepare for the tournament. They go to the new academy site, and when Hua pushes the door, it falls off. The place is completely run down. Yue goes to get permission from the owner of the place, but no one answers, so the request is denied. The headmaster decides to ask himself and tells the landlady that he's the head of an academy and wants to borrow the place for himself and his brother. As soon as the landlady hears his voice, she opens the door, and it's clear they know each other. The headmaster is overjoyed, but she ignores the headmaster and goes straight to the teacher, greeting him warmly and telling him she missed him. We find out the landlady's name is Car, and years ago she, the teacher, and the headmaster were part of a team, just like the current academy team. Car used to love the teacher, and the headmaster loved Car, but the teacher didn't love her back. More precisely, he was shy around her, and around women in general. After all these years apart, fate brought them together again. When they ask to stay in the place, Car agrees, but only because she wants the teacher to stay in front of her eyes. The headmaster goes to the students and leaves Car and the teacher alone. The students are eager to learn about the relationship between them. The headmaster tells them a summary of their past. Meanwhile, Bao goes to Xiao and San, saying she wants to walk through the city's market. The 3 of them go out and walk together. Bao and Xiao stop in front of a cage full of rabbits and find them adorable, but suddenly, They notice that San has disappeared. They search but can't find him. They return to the teacher and headmaster and tell them, and no one knows what happened to San. They suspect he's been kidnapped, and he has. His kidnapper is Guo. We find out that Guo is Dogo's grandfather. He learns from an old woman that the poison came from San and demands that San cure his granddaughter. Despite San's combat spirit being poison-based, he can't create an antidote for this particular toxin. San tells him that it was an accident, but Guo gets furious and wants to kill him. San says he's immune to all poisons and has an idea to cure Dogo. Guo wants to confirm that San is truly immune. He starts giving him different poisons to drink. At the same time, Xiao attacks the royal estate, believing they're holding San. But this breaks royal law. Yue steps in, strikes Xiao, and makes her lose consciousness. As punishment, the prince orders that Xiao be hung at the estate gate, but the headmaster arrives and frees her. That's when war drums begin to sound from both sides. Meanwhile, San isn't affected by the poisons, but he does get weak from all the liquids filling his stomach. Guo confirms what San said and listens as San explains how he became immune. It was thanks to the spider spirit ring. Before anything else, San tells Guo he might be able to contact the person who created the poison and negotiate to get the antidote. San goes to meet the masked man, but this time, the man isn't masked. Before they even speak, the man tells San that his leader wants to meet him. San gets nervous and scared. He's sure the man behind all of this must be evil. The leader reveals himself to San and tells him his name is Xin Yan. During their first meeting, Xin Yan uses his ability to hypnotize San. He wants to use San as a spy, but as soon as San reaches Guo, something happens that breaks the hypnosis. Guo realizes that there is no peaceful solution after this, and takes San back to his friends to reassure them. When they arrive, they find a lot of guards at the academy's gate. With one move, Guo knocks them all unconscious. Before San enters, Guo grabs his right hand and transfers part of his own energy into him, telling him he will need it. San goes inside and learns that the royal estate has declared war on them. He also finds out Yue was the one who knocked Xiao unconscious. He gets furious, and even more so when he sees Yue releasing his power on Dai. San strikes from a distance with his right hand, sending Yue flying before the fight can even begin. The prince withdraws with all his soldiers and tells them he'll see them at the tournament. San goes to Xiao, and when she wakes up and sees him, she's overjoyed. It's time for San to go with Guo to heal Dogo, but Xiao insists on going with him, and she does. San's plan is to replace Dogo's blood with his own. Since they have the same blood type, because he's immune to poison, his blood will cleanse hers. But it's not that simple. San suffers greatly. Xiao stands behind him, supporting him and giving him her energy. Gradually, she starts losing her spirit rings, her energy fades, and she collapses. When San finishes and successfully cures Dogo, he holds Xiao close and waits for her to wake up. Guo tells him that Xiao gave everything she had to help him in order to complete this task, and when Xiao wakes up, she asks San to take back the energy she gave him so she doesn't get exhausted, but she's unable to do that, and it turns out that Xiao has lost her combat spirit. San tells her he's sorry and promises that no matter how bad things get, he'll stay by her side until she regains her fighting spirit. As a reward, Gu takes San and Xiao to his private garden, which has a hidden wall. Gu tells them he's tried many times to enter the space beyond it, but always failed. Then he leaves to bring them a rare plant from his collection. San uses his special herb and manages to pass through the hidden wall. He holds Xiao's hand and brings her with him. It turns out to be a gateway to a strange world, the same place San had seen in his dreams, where he heard a serene voice. Suddenly, a large mirror appears before them. Xiao loses consciousness, and San hears the same voice again. This time he realizes it's his mother's voice. It's a recorded message for him, where she reveals that there are many things about his origins and past that he's not yet ready to know. But the most important thing he must learn now is that she was killed by someone named Shun, the king of the first sect of the Spirit Palace. He killed her because she held a secret about the immortality of combat spirits, and she refused to give that secret to him. She begs San not to seek revenge for her, and to live in peace instead. She tells him that she wishes she could be with him now, but she leaves him two gifts. The first is a spirit power that emerges from the giant mirror and enters Xiao, bringing her combat spirit back to life. The second gift is a healing lake that can cure any injury, but it can only be used once. When Xiao regains consciousness, she hugs San, and he tells her everything that happened. She tries out her combat spirit, and confirms that it's back, but there's no time for tears. San takes some plants, brings Xiao out of that world, and returns to the academy. He gives each of his friends a specific plant which, when consumed, grants them energy equivalent to that of a legendary beast master. Then San goes to his teacher and tells him he knows what happened to his mother. He wants revenge, but she told him in her message that she wants him to live peacefully and forget the past. San also asks his teacher to reveal his father's identity, since he's now ready to know. The teacher explains that he once considered San's father his role model and followed in his footsteps, even serving in the royal palace like him. But one day, the king of the first sect accused San's mother of treason. When San's father defended her, he too was accused. After the mother's death, San's father left the royal palace behind and dedicated his life to training San and keeping him away from the palace so he wouldn't meet a tragic fate. But after Shun's death, his wife took over, and everything that happened was buried and forgotten. San decides to let go of the past and live in peace. As the tournament draws near, San heads into the forest to hunt. He kills a legendary spider, and a black spirit ring rises from its body, emitting smoke, which signifies that the spider is over 1,000 years old. San absorbs the ring and goes to his mother's lake to withstand the merging of the ring with his body. The tournament begins that same day, and the referee named Ru is in charge of commentary and judging the matches. In the first round, Shi participates and unexpectedly defeats his opponent. In the second round, Baho competes but loses to her opponent, resulting in a draw. In the third round, Chu participates and also wins. At that point, the academy is falling behind because the rest of the participants are late, but then a new contestant faces Chu, and he turns out to be abnormally strong, managing to defeat her. In the next round, it looks like the academy will have to forfeit due to a lack of contestants, but San shows up, and it's revealed that he successfully merged with the 1,000-year-old spirit ring. He easily defeats the opponent before him, and the team's performance that day is so strong they make it to the semifinals. The next day, the rules change a bit for the first round. Now, the whole team has to fight the opposing team together. In this round, the academy team wins, using ice magic in their abilities. They think it's easy and grow overconfident, but that arrogance causes them to lose the next round. Their teacher is furious, but the damage is done. They have only one chance left. Otherwise, they're out of the tournament. In the next round, they're up against the Masked Man. It's then that the Masked Man's identity is finally revealed. His name is Chang. He's alone and has no team. Despite that, he's confident he'll defeat the opposing team entirely. But just as the round is about to begin and the team is preparing to attack Chang, he suddenly surrenders, surprising everyone. No one understands why he did that. After the match, San confronts Chang and asks why he forfeited. Chang explains that everything is planned. The tournament is rigged so that they must reach the finals and not be eliminated in the qualifiers. One day, as San is walking with his friends, they are stopped by Ru. He tells them that all he wants is San, because he needs him to come along on a trip, promising to bring him back right after. San agrees and goes with him. The trip turns out to be a visit to the queen of the first sect in the Spirit Palace. When San arrives, he sees Na leaving, and realizes there's some kind of relationship between her and the queen. The queen uses her ability to detect the Tian hammer in San's hand, and immediately realizes he's the son of the man her husband killed his wife. San asks her why they did that to his mother, but the queen insists she had nothing to do with it. She tells him the meeting is over and kicks him out of the palace. The next day, before the final battle, the team stands together as the headmaster gives them a heartfelt speech. He reminds them of their beginnings, how they were once strangers, and now they're like brothers and sisters, relying on each other through both wins and losses. He congratulates them on everything they've accomplished and tells them he sees each of them as his own children, not just students. They all agree that if they win, they'll stay together in the same academy and work to make it greater. They head to the final match. The queen is there watching, because she will personally hand the prize to the winner. The final round turns out to be extremely difficult. Their opponent has 5 spirit rings, 2 purple, 2 gold, and 1 black one that emits smoke. That's a legendary level no opponent they've faced before has reached. One by one, the opponent begins to eliminate members of San's team, and the queen stands watching, laughing because she's certain San will lose, but the unexpected happens. The tables turn. San and Zhao team up, and together they manage to defeat the opponent. Their entire team gathers, holding hands, proud of themselves as the strongest academy team on the continent, but then something completely unexpected happens. The queen suddenly pulls Zhao toward her and, using her power, freezes everyone in place, preventing them from moving. She announces that this tournament is meant only for humans who possess combat spirits. Then, the shocking truth is revealed. Zhao is a legendary beast over 100,000 years old. Her true form is a rabbit. Beasts that live that long gain the ability to take human form, and Xiao had made that choice. She apologizes to San, saying she's sorry for lying to him, but San doesn't care. He tells the queen to let Xiao go, that even if she's a legendary beast, she's still his sister, and that's a promise they made to each other. The queen insists on killing Xiao. San tells her that she'll have to go through him first if she wants to kill her. The queen responds that she will, and begins choking San, trying to kill him. Suddenly, a hammer is thrown at the queen, forcing her to release San and Xiao. The one who threw it is San's father, who has returned to save his son and take revenge for his wife. He frees San from the queen's grasp and takes him out of the palace after getting his revenge. San's father tells Xiao that he saved her only because of his son, because he sees her as a sister. He adds that one day she might even prove useful to him. He pauses, then continues speaking. He tells Xiao that she really looks like someone. Xiao asks who he's talking about. San's father answers that she resembles San's mother, who was also a legendary beast over 100,000 years old. She too chose a human form. He fell in love with her, and they got married and had San. That was the reason the king of the first sect hunted him down and killed her. Xiao hugs San, crying, and tells him she doesn't want anything, only for him to stay by her side and accept her for who she truly is. And just like that, our story ends. Peace.